Disclaimer, this footage is from Project Slasher, not Mordhau, and due to the NDA on the Mordhau Alpha, I won't be able to release footage of the game for a period of time, so I'm hooking you up with some strats that I discovered in this old Unity build instead. Okay boys, in Mordhau there's two methods to input your attack. Pressing L and B whilst flicking your mouse in the desired direction, or using binds for the angle of attack, as well as an alt attack bind that makes your swing start from the opposite direction when pressed. Mount and Blade players would be more familiar with directional flicking, while Chivalry veterans will most likely prefer the latter scheme. The big question is, which control scheme is superior, and luckily I've already established what I believe to be the best solution: use both. When attacking with priority, you'll find that angling your mouse in order to perform an overhead will make your character look up in the sky. Not only does this signal your intent to your opponent, but it also restricts your vision and limits the speed of any accelerated attacks you want to perform. For these reasons, I think it's important to make use of your scroll wheel and side buttons as you would in Chivalry. This way you can perform fake accelerated overheads more convincingly, as well as maintaining your view. However, when on the defense, the added complexity of your alt attack bind, alongside having 4 different buttons to perform each type of attack, makes chambering exponentially more difficult if you instead use the mouse angle system. When performing a chamber, you must respond quickly, and as Rick once told me, you want to think as little as possible. So you really don't want to be worrying about whether you need to hold down the button that makes your swings start from the opposite direction, whilst also frantically trying to find your underhand key. Whilst I'm sure with a lot of practice you could effectively chamber with the alt attack button and angle binds, it would still add an extra layer of confusion when you're already in a chaotic situation. By incorporating both systems into your playstyle, depending on whether you're attempting chambers or attacking with priority, you get to capitalise on the advantages of both, whilst avoiding their respective flaws. Of course, I encourage players to attempt their own playstyle, and there may also be another control scheme present in Mordhau that incorporates binds and directional movement. The first thing you should do before hitting the duel yard is practice chambering against the bot. Chambering is similar to reading feints in Chivalry, in that you should wait for the grunt before inputting your chamber. Let the bot face hug you, and chamber as many hits as you can. Practice this against a variety of weapon types for around 20 minutes, and you should have the general idea. If the Mordhau bot is sluggish to attack like in Slasher, you can parry conventionally for 2 attacks, and then attempt to chamber the third, which the bot will input faster. In Slasher duels, the player that is landing the most chambers tends to win, as they conserve stamina and land quick hits that their opponent will struggle to parry. Skilled players will be attempting to chamber as much as possible, which will result in feints being much weaker than they were in Chivalry, as chambers preemptively punish feint attempts. Initiating with stab feints is now off the table, as these are the easiest chambers to land. However, initiating with the stab drag was an effective opening in Slasher, as these bait your opponent to mistime his chamber and take a hit. Face hugging no longer works in its traditional manner, as maintaining this range will allow your opponent to land a kick that will stun. That said, you can bait a kick by quickly darting in and out of kick range. Another dirty trick is to bind your scroll wheel overhead in the opposite direction from the default. This will help you land the occasional lucky chamber versus players who are using the default overhead bind, as your overheads will be mirroring theirs.
Okay gamers, if you like this video, I'm going to be making a lot more, so hit that subscribe.